Bison men's basketball lost a couple of road games this past week, a tough weekend. Coach David Richman joins us. And Coach, just sum up the weekend for us. I know it was 2 losses. There's always more involved with the game, though, than just the win or the loss. Summarize it for us.
You know, we're just trying to build some consistency, Jeremy. You're coming back here to this show last week at this time, and you're feeling pretty good about things. You get 2 home wins. You beat a Fort Wayne team pretty handily, who was in first place, and you're hopefully to take that confidence on the road, and we just weren't able to do that. And that's the thing that we've got to figure out here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And we've got to level some things out and hopefully level it out at a high note.
And that's not just your team. That's college basketball right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about the tweet that we saw and all the parity that's going on and the unranked teams beating ranked teams. But, you know, as much as that's college basketball, we got to focus in on North Dakota State. And we've got an opportunity this week, hopefully, to get some things right, figured out, and carry it going. We've got to get healthy, no question. But as much as we got to get healthy, we can control, and we didn't do that this weekend.
So last Thursday at South Dakota, let's recap this game briefly. USD never trailed, shot 39%. The Bison did, -8 on the glass. So those are probably some things you were pointing at after the game.
Yeah, you know, without a guy like Paul Miller, that tightens some things up and the way they can defend you, and credit them, they did a good job with that. But the disappointing part is the 8 offensive rebounds and the margin there, and those are things that we can control, no matter who's playing for us. And those are Gata points that we talk about, and extra effort points. And you've got to be able to sustain some things when you go on the road. You got to travel your energy. You got to travel your effort, and we didn't do that, especially Thursday night.
One of the hardest things to do on the road, too, is after a tough loss on Thursday, how do you regroup for Saturday? And here comes Omaha on Saturday. And how did you regroup? How did the guys handle Friday?
You know, Friday we were, you know, you try to give them some time to reflect a little bit on what they did and didn't do. You also give them some time, they're student athletes, and we had a study table session, and then we talked about them, and we showed them some things that we've got to get better at. If we don't get better at it, we're rolling into an Omaha team that's really talented, and it can go even worse than it did Thursday night. And, you know, our guys competed, but when you have 17 turnovers, 12 in the first half like we did, that just digs us too much of a hole.
Omaha had just beat NDSU. They're building a little momentum. They're tough at home. AJ gets in foul trouble. Jake White, who's played well in both games here in Fargo, 16 of 30 combined in the 2 games for 40 points. Talk about him and just how things got off the rails with the foul trouble with AJ.
Yeah, I mean, and that was quick. That was within the first 5 minutes of the game. And Trayshawn Thurman's a talented, and again, they had a game plan to go at AJ, and it worked very well. And you know, that being said, with no AJ, 12 turnovers in the first half, we're only down 3 points. And but you talk about a guy like Jake White and a senior, and that's what you can see in our league right now is seniors playing well, and I would include Corey Brown in that conversation as well. But Jake is, you know, playing strictly at the 5. Last year he was playing some at the 4, and he's a real tough matchup when, you know, as a 5 he can pick and pop and is very comfortable, and now has even expanded his game out to 3.
You know, I bring up the standings on this show every week, but does it really matter? I know you don't really look at that, but, you know, when you get down to Sioux Falls this year, anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about it before we went on the air here, Jeremy. I don't think much changed at all from the standings last week. And as much as you want to look at the standings, as much as you want to be at the top looking down, again, we can't control those things. All we can control is our game against Western on Wednesday night and then turning around Saturday afternoon against an IUPUI team.
Now, Western Illinois is at the bottom of the standings. They're potentially not going to be at Sioux Falls this year, but they have an opportunity as well. So they're fighting for their lives to try to get to that conference tournament. That makes for a dangerous opponent, and they have shown the ability on given nights to beat anybody.
Absolutely. The first game of the year they beat Wisconsin. 2 out of their last 3 they've won. They beat Omaha and 3 games ago at their place. Then they turned around and beat Denver. And then they battled. They got down early against Oral Roberts on Saturday, and I got to watch most of that one. They battled right back there, and that's a 1 or 2 possession game. They're playing extremely well. They're very capable, and like you talked about, they're a hungry team right now, trying to fight and scrap and claw to get to Sioux Falls, because once you get to Sioux Falls, we all know anything can happen.
And that was a sour taste at IUPUI the last time as well. They're coming in on Saturday. Score to settle with those guys, huh? Absolutely.
I thought we were very good offensively early and about just as bad defensively, and we can't let one end dictate the other for us. And we gapped it to about 10, and again, what we've done all year, whether it be game to game, half to half, or possession to possession, we just haven't shown the consistency of a championship team. And if we want to be a championship team, which we still have the opportunity to be, we've got to level some things out, and we've got to become more consistent.
Yep, Bison Nation, we need you out at Shields Arena this week. It's a big couple of games, maybe the last two games at Shields Arena for the Bison. MeTV against Western Illinois, and then a big day on Saturday. IUPUI rolls in statewide NBC. Of course, we'll have the Bison Radio Network all fired up for you. Best of luck to you and the team, Coach.
Thanks, Jim. We appreciate it. It is a big weekend. We hope you can join us. Shields has been a tremendous home for us for a transition. Yeah. And as excited as we are to get into the Shack, we're very appreciative of everything. And we have two special seniors, Corey Brown and Chris Kading. You know, that we need your help, Bison Nation, in sending out the right way. And hopefully we can get two at home here one at a time.
Yep, we'll be back next Monday to recap both of these games. Have a great week, everyone.